The aircrafts which was inducted into Indian Air Force to save the lives of the people has in turn now turned into the flying coffins for the pilots itself. Hello and welcome to the In Focus series section of Drishti IAS. I am 𝐈𝐀𝐒 and in today's video we will be talking about the yet another crash of MiG-21, now popularly known as the Flying Coffin of India. So now let's look at the timeline of the video. First we will be looking at what is the news and the cause of MiG-21 crash, MiG-21 Bison aircraft in Indian Air Force and how old it is and why is it called the Flying Coffin. Then modernization of Indian Air Force, and in the end we will be talking about a prelims MCQ and a mains practice question. This topic is of relevance from General Studies paper 3, various security forces and agencies and their mandate and challenges to internal security. So from prelims point of view, it is important to know that from which country the MiG-21 aircrafts have been taken, and from mains perspective, modernization of Indian Air Force is important. So let's get started and see the news. This news has been taken from the Indian Express and it reads, another MiG-21 crash, India's fleet, past accidents and future phase out. So what has happened is the two pilots were sitting inside the MiG-21 aircraft and it has got crashed in the Barmer district of Rajasthan, and both the pilots, one senior pilot and one junior pilot, which is mandatory to when riding a MiG-21 aircraft, and both have been killed, and this was the trainer version of the fighter aircraft. A picture which is widely being circulated on the social media after the MiG-21 got crashed is this, and this MiG-21 aircraft has been taken from which country? Russia. So now let's see, this is the map of Rajasthan. So Barmer district is present in the Indian state of Rajasthan. This is the Barmer district. It is present in the southern western part and it shares its boundary with Pakistan, and on the northern part it has Jaisalmer, and Barmer is also one of the largest districts of Rajasthan. So now let's talk about the cause of MiG-21 crash. Both the pilots were on a sortie, and sortie is it was a regular sortie and it was considered important for the junior pilots to get the knowledge and the expertise. So the sortie was also for imparting operational training by the senior pilot to the junior pilot, and it tests the skills of the junior pilot and also give them the knowledge and the required experience about the aircraft. And the reasons behind the crash are still not known, as the Indian Air Force has said that the reasons are still not known, and a court of inquiry will look into the matter that why the MiG-21 crash took place. And few of the reasons that has been given in the past about the crash of MiG-21 is technical defects, human error and bird hits. So these were the reasons which have been given in the past about the crash of the MiG-21. See, this is the tweet which has been given by the Indian Air Force, that around on 28th of July around 9:10 p.m. MiG-21 trainer aircraft met with an accident, and after that one more tweet came which says that IAF, that is Indian Air Force, deeply regrets the loss of lives of the aircraft of the pilots. MiG-21 aircraft crashed recently, so around 6 MiG-21 Bison has crashed in the last 20 months, that is 2020, 21 and 22, and 5 has crashed in 2021 while 1 has crashed in 2022, and in total 5 pilots have lost their lives in the crash. First And this the MiG-21 crash that has taken place recently is the first fatal trainer aircraft crash of the MiG-21 Bison. Now let's talk about MiG-21 Bison aircraft in Indian Air Force. So in total there are 4 squadrons of MiG-21 Bison. So what is a squadron? It is a group of aircraft. Like inside one squadron of aircraft there are around 16 to 18 aircrafts. So one squadron of MiG-21 will consist of around 16 to 18 MiG-21 aircrafts, and it has 2 trainer versions also included in it. And Indian Air Force has planned to phase out the MiG-21 aircraft with each passing year, and this year the Srinagar based number 51 squadron will be phased out, and in 2021 the Srinagar squadron will be phased out, then again in 2023, 24, 25, with each year there will be one squadron which will be phased out, and the MiG-21 Bison will be phased out of Indian Air Force by 2025. And the plan of the Indian Air Force is that they will be reviving these squadrons back into the service with the indigenous, the important word is indigenous, with the indigenous light combat aircraft Tejas. So Tejas will replace these the MiG-21, and this through the light combat aircraft Tejas, the Indian Air Force will revive these squadrons again in the Indian Air Force. Now let's see that how old is the MiG-21 Bison. So MiG-21 aircraft have been inducted from Russia to India, and first came the MiG-21 FL, then came the MiG-21 BIS, and then the MiG-21 Bison. So MiG-21 Bison is an upgraded version of MiG-21 BIS, which was inducted into India in 1976, while the MiG-21 FL, which is the older version of the aircraft, was inducted in the early 1960s, but it has been phased out in 2013. So MiG-21 FL is no more present with the Indian Air Force, as it has been phased out in 2013. And the first upgraded MiG Bison came to India in 2001, and the last upgraded version came in 2008. So first came in 2001, last came in 2008. And what something which is of very much of appreciation about the MiG-21 aircraft is that the MiG-21 aircraft have seen the induction of women fighter pilots. So the flying officer 𝐈𝐀𝐒 𝐏𝐫𝐞𝐥𝐢𝐬 became the first woman pilot of the Indian Air Force to fly in the MiG-21 aircraft, and her solo fight on the aircraft took place in June 2016. So the induction of women fighter pilots is one of the highlights of MiG-21 aircraft. Now why is it called the Flying Coffin? That MiG-21 now recently has been called as the Flying Coffin. See, it was earlier considered to be, or is considered to be, the backbone of the fleet of fighter aircrafts, as India have a large quantity of them. But now the crashes have been highest in this category, and in the past around 10 years maximum number of crashes has been seen, and poor safety record has been recorded with the MiG-21 aircraft. And according to the Defense Ministry, more than 170 pilots, this is a huge number, more than 170 pilots have lost their lives in MiG-21 aircraft, and more than 20 aircraft have crashed since 2010, and 38 aircrafts have crashed between 2003 and 2013. These are the statistics because of which they are called the Flying Coffin. since 2010 around 20 aircrafts have crashed, and between 2003 and 13 38 aircrafts have been crashed, and there are a high rate of accidents has also been observed with the MiG-21 aircrafts. And it has been seen that increasingly the criticism against the criticism for the MiG-21 aircraft was increasing. Now let's talk about the modernization of Indian Air Force. Modernization of Air Force or modernization of the Air Force of any country depends on different perspectives, as every country has their difference of geography and geopolitics. So India has its own pros and cons when it comes to modernization of Indian Air Force, but now it has been seen that the time is right to do the modernization of Indian Air Force, and it has been seen that it is derivative of the threat perception as well as the kind of wars the country will fight. And India is surrounded by very volatile neighbors and very vibrating neighbors. One side is Pakistan, while on the other side we have China. So we are a country which have very volatile neighbors, and we know in recent past we have not been in good terms with China, be it the Galwan issue and what is presently going on in Ladakh since 1 or 2 years is very concerning. So kind of war is very important for India. Then force multipliers like air-to-air refuelers, communication network also needs to be upgraded with the Indian Air Force inducting new equipments within itself. Then countries' war policies are now turning into two-front war policy. Now we are seeing that it is not that many countries are involved in one war, it is one country against the other country. So two-front war policy is also being turned towards induction rate and the retirement rate. This is one of the major problems of the Indian Air Force, that our induction rate is very slow, that it takes a lot of times to induct an equipment into the Indian Air Force. And the retirement rate, even though the retirement rate is also not that slow, it takes a lot of time, but the induction rate is even slower than the retirement rate. This is what is causing problem. It takes many years for one equipment to get into the Indian Air Force. So it takes a lot of time, until the time the retirement age of an equipment also comes. Then what kind of aircraft our country needs? Do we need the same aircraft which is used by Russia or the US, or do we need other aircrafts? What is the requirement of the Indian Air Force? It depends on many other factors. So now let's see the challenges in the modernization of Indian Air Force, and it is short-term worry is shortage of fighter jets in the coming future. See, we were a lot dependent on MiG-21, and MiG-21 was since been many years was the major aircraft in the Indian Air Force. And now if suddenly we will phase out all the MiG-21 from Indian Air Force, is the induction rate of other aircrafts enough to replace the MiG-21? So this is what is causing a problem for India. And then the challenge of talent which is needed to manufacture high-tech aircraft. Do India possess the same talent which is present in Russia or the US? Do we have such high quality expertise that they can make aircrafts or defense equipments at par with the global powers? Then no plan to upgrade the technology in existing aircraft timely. This has also been one of the problems, that the repair work or the upgradation part takes a lot of time. It also takes years to upgrade the equipment, and then the timely upgradation do not take place, and which leads to many other problems one after the other. Then the import of equipments or import of aircrafts require large capital expenditure, and every time it is not possible that so much of large capital expenditure the government will be able to do, and the long gestation period is also a problem. Then indigenous inventory, even though we are working on the made in India, but still we will need more time and many more years in manufacturing the aircraft which will be at par with the global powers. Then lengthy process of procuring an equipment, as I've just discussed with you, that procuring an equipment depends on a lot many things, the bureaucratic process, the expenditure process, and the long term expenditure, how much time does the bureaucracy of both the countries takes. So this is all depends on the procurement process, and these are all the challenges in the modernization of the Indian Air Force. These can be important for your mains answer writing practice. So now let's look at the way forward, and this is India need to form a National Aeronautic Commission so that they will be able to tell on what time and what is the need of the Indian Air Force. Then need to spread our industry to private sector, as private sector is performing really well in these in this line in the manufacturing sector. So private sector expertise, effectiveness, and their capital also can be very useful. Then indigenous capabilities can be increased. Then procurement time and the procurement cost can be cut, and it can be made faster so that the Indian Air Force do not suffer more. The funds are not always available, so the commission can also work towards that how much fund will be required by the Indian Air Force or the defense sector of India. Then the funds can be made available on time. Now next is the prelims MCQ. It is, consider the following pairs. On one side is the fighter jet planes or the aircraft, and on the other side is the country. Then Rafale jet, France; MiG-21, Russia; and Mirage, Britain. You people need to tell me the answer in the comment section, that which of the pairs given above are correctly matched. One pair only, two pairs only, all three pairs, and none of the above. This question I think you will be able to do. Then in the end, a mains practice question, and the question reads that keeping in view the recent crashes of MiG-21 aircraft, why is their replacement necessary? Then what are the difficulties in modernization of Indian Air Force? We have discussed both the part, so you people can easily do this question and do your answer writing practice. Keep writing, keep doing your answer writing practice on daily basis. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next time, keep reading and keep writing.